Hi, I'm Lorcan.
And I'm Yuki, and welcome to Shuffle, Skip, Repeat, your new destination for all things music.
Yes, we will be taking a deep dive into the latest music releases. Whether it's a pulsating pop anthem or a soul-stirring ballad, no genre will be off limits.
It won't be all fun and games, however, as each episode will also serve as a platform for critical analysis, exploring the challenges, triumphs, and controversies that shape the music world, so as to provide you with a comprehensive understanding of the industry's inner workings.
Now, if that wasn't already enough, get ready for some star power, because between episodes, we will be releasing bonus interviews where an array of familiar faces take us on a musical journey through their personal playlists.
They'll be revealing the songs that have inspired and shaped their lives and sharing the tunes that make them laugh, cry, and dance like no one's watching.
So join us for all that and more right here on Shuffle, Skip, Repeat.
We're now joined by international singer-songwriter. You're international.
International.
You
I'm
are
international, baby.
international.
I love that.
International singer-songwriter, social media star.
Keep it coming.
Harvey. I mean, I'm done. I'm done.
You
No,
done?
dancing
Ain't got no
legend.
more.
Dancing
on the stage
legend.
as well,
Legend.
of course.
I'll take that. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you for coming. Honestly,
Yeah,
really
absolute
excited
pleasure.
to have you here.
I think, as you know, a lot of what we do is very, very music based.
Yeah.
And I want to get on to obviously your music and that side of your career. But I think a really quick recap for maybe some people that don't know your origin story. That sounds like something out of a Marvel movie, doesn't
It does, yeah.
Yeah, built that right up. Because obviously social media played a huge part in that.
Massive.
Talking about social media stars. So just, from the start, give us a very quick recap.
Okay.
Because I think we go right back to 13,
13, yeah, you've done your research. Okay, really short story. So, I mean, I've always sung all my life. Since I was a kid, I used to put on shows for my family and I used to stand behind the curtain and do all that stuff and I loved it. And then it wasn't until I was until I went to secondary school, I knew I loved singing, but I never really told people about that I sung because I didn't want to get in school. I didn't want to get bullied for it because everyone was into football, into rugby, and I was okay at those things. But I genuinely loved music a lot more. And I was about 12, 13, and I posted a cover on Facebook at the time. That was like the in platform, and it kind of I remember the day I posted it. It was me and my friend who played the guitar, and it hit like 100 likes, and I was like, oh my god, like. This is viral. Like, no one ever like. I was like,
But it was at the time.
no, but at the time, like,
yeah.
and then it went like throughout my school, right? And then I'll never forget the day I was in maths, and one of my covers, I think it was of a One Direction song, it hit like 1,000 likes, and I remember everyone in the class was like refreshing it, being like, guys, it's gonna hit 1,000 likes, and like in my school, that's a massive deal because like that went like viral in my little area, and I was thinking, actually, people quite like this. And don't get me wrong, there was a lot of hate comments at the time. And I was only 13 and I didn't know how to handle it. So I was like, I used to comment back to like, I don't know, like 47-year-old Ian from like Doncaster. And I was like, you what? Like giving it back. And then I remember like thinking, no, like don't feed into this. I'm very mature with me at 13. Yeah. And then I got signed off the back of one of these videos. Someone found me and then, I got the day off school the next day, went to a management, signed to this management a week later, and then I performed at a stadium, actually. It was at the Majestic Stadium in Reading. It was supporting Jessie J. It was like a big lineup. And they said I could support. I had one song. So I did a 7-minute mashup, and I was like, well, it's one song, so you can't tell me one song.
Out of this. Yeah,
literally. And I'll never forget it. I was in the crowd. Really random. Joey Essex was in the crowd and he was going, who is this young guy? Because my family was standing next to him. And I was singing. And at the end of my song, my hands just shot up in the air like that, thinking that I was some like big megastar. And there's a picture somewhere online with me with my hands in the air. I had like a little blazer on with like a Union Jack flag. I mean, it was pretty tragic. But that's how it all kind of started. And then I signed a record deal at 13, 14, yeah.
We're going to dig up that photo.
No, you really...
To be fair, I'm getting a bit PTSD because I think I had one of those blazers with a t-shirt underneath it with a Union Jack on it.
Very like Primark, very like
I know it said Primark.
No, but listen.
It was.
It's not a bad thing, but that's... Yeah, I thought I looked great.
Was it a 2-in-1? Like,
no, it was not. Definitely not a 2-in-1.
Neither was mine.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
That was the thing.
Yeah, it was.
But that's a mega start to your career, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it was really scary because I'd only ever sung in my kitchen, and also I was really afraid of singing in front of people. And I remember like my school always saying like, Harvey, come perform an assembly. Absolutely not. Couldn't think of anything worse. Never sung in assemblies. I didn't even take music in school. I did drama instead. I didn't want to be. You know what? I felt like Hannah Montana. I felt like I'd put the wig on outside of school, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm this pop star. As soon as I was in school, I was like, you know, Miley Cyrus, and I just wanted to be like, not a singer. I wanted to be like normal. I didn't want to do any of that stuff. So I really tried to keep it separate, just because I didn't want to be bullied. I didn't want to be like outside in like an outside circle. I just wanted to be like really just
like a kid.
Yeah. Like just, and it was really strange because I remember going on tour with Little Mix.
Yeah.
When I was like, sorry, it's like a little. Just pick up that name for me or the names. I know.
Back's too sore from picking up.
Yeah,
names in this
I
podcast.
know. Listen, I can drop a lot. I can drop a lot more if you want me to. I got loads.
Dude, yeah.
And I remember my head teacher was like, you know, you need to tell the school about this in assembly. And I was like, I don't want to. And thinking back to it, like, how was
that you were going on tour with them?
Yeah, and I was like, how am I embarrassed? And I remember at the end of the assembly, my head teacher was like, right, now Harvey's got something to tell us. And I was like, no, don't do it.
No, I don't.
And then they made me stand up, and I had to walk to the front, and she gave me the microphone. She was like, what do you want to tell everyone? And I was like, I'm going on tour with Little Mix, so if you want to come watch me at the O2 Arena, you can. Like, and it was almost like I was disappointed. It was like I was being told off because I was so embarrassed. Not because of Little Mix, I love Little Mix, but I hated it in school, and, you know. So that was kind of like where it all started. But that was definitely like my rooted kind of like my villain origin story. That's where it all started. Not that I'm a villain.
I was like, okay.
Yeah.
You said it now.
Yeah, well, I said it now.
Exactly. You're in your villain era.
No, I'm not, but that's where it all started. Yeah.
I'm so here. So when you made that announcement, I'm just thinking back to when I was at school, and if someone at we didn't actually have anyone.
Was it a long time?
No,
Whoa.
That's rude.
Listen,
rude.
what?
Rude. I didn't say anything. He
2 years
said it.
ago, GCSEs 2 years ago.
Basically.
Yeah.
Did you still do GCSEs?
I quit to do this.
You left 2 years ago. You left your GCSEs 2 years
did
ago.
you do?
No,
wait,
it's in
when you did
recent.
GCSEs, was it O levels?
It was.
No. Listen,
You can swear on this, and
you
you're
can
gonna
swear.
touch
Shut
me.
the fuck up. Yeah, come please. I love it. Shut the fuck up. Sorry.
Oh God.
Hit a nerve, obviously. But what I was going to ask was, I'm just taking it back, not too long ago, but if someone in my school was like, I'm going on tour with Little Mix,
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, so free tickets?
Yeah.
When you made that announcement, were there any free tickets for anyone at the
Yeah,
school?
yeah, definitely. Those people that like I got to come down and watch.
Was
you
there a
get, like,
switch?
girls?
Yeah. Was there
No.
like?
No, it was weird. It was like there was a switch, but I had more boys like be more like, oh, you think you're so this, you think you're so that. But really funny now, you know, I get messages on Instagram like, oh, hey mate, how are you? Like, just saw you on this, or like, and do you know what? And I have no grudge. Like, listen, we were all young. I mean, I'm sure I said stuff and did stuff that wasn't nice, but so I don't really hold a grudge to it. But it's just so funny how people treat each other in school when you're young. Like, you just have, I feel like you have no filter. Like the things that
At all.
people used to say to me and I used to say back to them, I was like, fuck, like that's savage. Like this, like, you're so mean. Like, I'm always scared of little children because they say whatever like on their mind.
You make a good point, and I don't know if anyone else uses Facebook. I only use it to speak to my family.
Well,
but you know that memory
You
thing.
used to use Facebook.
I never actually had Facebook, FYI.
No,
FYI.
I don't know, I'm confident.
Harvey.
You don't understand. None of this is making the cut because she will come round with a gun to the editing suite.
She'll go, that's not going in.
Yeah.
That's not going in.
Like 100%. This is
You thought I was PG before. Keep pushing me. We'll
sorry.
answer those questions.
Push a bitch, see what happens.
Sorry.
But
I'm joking. I'm not threatening anyone. Just make sure that's it.
those memories that come up on Facebook.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you said this 10 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I use Facebook these days. It's like going in and deleting those old like
Oh,
things I've
yeah,
said.
yeah,
So you
yeah,
make
yeah,
your-
yeah.
when I was whatever age. So you make a really good point. Yeah, there's no filter at all.
I feel bad because I feel like kids are kids, right? And we all did stupid
Dude, just-
shit.
yeah.
Like it's just that it's so out there now.
And you know what? People just don't realise, like, we read comments, like how like artists or influencers or whoever, some videos could have like a million views and 12,000 comments. We will sit through and read through the comments. Like some will say that, oh no, they don't. Like they'll never see it, so I'm gonna write whatever I want. That one comment that you think, oh, they'll never see it. I'm gonna say you look fat in that jumper, or you know do whatever. We will see it.
And did you?
No, I never look fat. I mean, come on, I'm tiny, but yeah.
Your fans are like insane on
Right.
like another level in terms of like supporting, loyal,
Yeah.
whatever. I was on Twitter and I saw one be like, oh, if Harvey follows me, I'm going to stop vaping or something. And it's like,
I mean, I should follow this person
sweet.
because I feel like this.
No,
this
you followed them.
Oh,
I
okay,
think-
okay,
I think
good.
they were like, stopped now. I put all my elf bars down.
Do you know
But
what? They're
yeah.
so bad. It's so. I've seen people get just so addicted to these vapes, and it's so easy to obviously get addicted to them because you can like people just inside and like they're so accessible nowadays. But like I've seen TikToks on TikTok where like I've seen older people go into the shops and buy vapes for younger like teens, and there's people in the comments like, oh, bless up to this person for doing this. You're a real G for doing this. Like, thank you so much. Like in the comments, like all people like 13, you know, and they're all vaping. Like, it's like a massive thing in schools now. Like we never obviously had that. I mean, when I was back in the day when I was in school,
Yeah, exactly.
no, but people would like smoke cigarettes. But I mean,
Yeah,
that was like the hardcore
Yeah.
like kids in school. But now I feel like it's just so easy to sneak vapes in on us.
Do you know what, Harvey? I'm going to say this.
Go on.
I feel like you're a little bit political. Not political, but like, no, as in, 'cause-
Causes.
yeah, you're all for, and I really, really like that. Like, you talk a lot about like women and like
Yeah.
women's rights.
Yeah.
And like, and you know, was it the right to like just things that I feel like a lot of people would be afraid to talk about.
I think people need to speak up more on their platforms about really important stuff. I think that's real life. Like,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. Like, you know, your next music video is great, and this song that you're putting out is amazing, and I get that. But there are also other things that I'm like, how can you just be silent about that stuff and not talk about it? Especially when it comes to women's rights. Especially because
Yeah.
most of my fans are girls, and
Yeah.
I feel like it's definitely important to talk about things that are relevant to people who follow you as well, because you are an influence to all these people. So yeah, it's definitely important.
And talking about women's rights, a bit of a segue.
Go on.
You get asked a lot about women you've potentially dated and asked about
Yeah.
a kind of relationship, etc.
Yeah.
And it's talked a lot about in the media the other way around. So Taylor Swift being the perfect example. She
Yeah.
asks everywhere she goes about who he's dating,
Yeah.
who she's dating, sorry.
That's what she writes about.
And connections. That's true. She does.
I know,
she does
but
write about them. But it's still annoying.
No,
when that's not what she's doing.
But you know,
her
yeah,
craft is music.
Okay, so things for like Taylor, I feel like that just takes away from how good the music is, and I get it. It's clickbait, and who, you know, which celebrity did you write this one about? But I feel like that's like really surface level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With that stuff, and I do get it. People want to know the gossip. I want to know the gossip. I want to know who's dated who. Like, I listen to podcasts and I'm like, I really want to find out about this. So please, they ask that question, and so I understand it. But someone like Taylor Swift, people are so invested into her love life. But I do get asked a lot about like the dating life and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, these female artists kind of get sick and tired of it, but you don't really see it on the other kind of side of the coin where guys get asked the same.
Yeah.
Do you get tired of it a little bit because you're dating at the minute, so it's
Yeah,
not really
yeah.
fair on her
Yeah,
either.
no,
at the
definitely.
Same time.
I know what you mean. It's not annoying. I mean, I feel like, I know it sounds bad, but I feel like it's part of the job now. And I feel like, is that a bad thing or a good thing? I don't know. But when you become an artist, I feel like you're not just selling your music, you're kind of selling your kind of life as well. Like, not in your private life. And I understand why people don't want to talk about that stuff. But I'm also like, that's what people are interested in. That's what people want to know. People love your music. They want to know that you're happy. They want to know where you live. Not where you live, but like, no, but like, they want to know like what kind of house you live in, you know. And I get why people don't do that. But then sometimes, you know, when I'm a fan of these artists and celebrities, I'm like, oh wow, I wonder what car they drive. And you can't help but think that because you idolize these people and you want to know how they live their life. So it's a fine line. So I understand both sides of it. So sometimes it can be a little bit like, oh, do we have to talk about that? But I'm also like, I get why people want to know.
I wanted to know, again, just because like you say, it's like, with you are a heartthrob. However, I mean,
come on.
No, but it's like, listen, the tweets, the comments speak for themselves. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you date someone, you're literally like shattering like a million hearts.
I mean, I don't know people like me that much. I mean,
No, I've seen
maybe
I've
like
seen
10,
the comments.
maybe
I've
like
seen
10
the
people.
comments. You have some hardcore. Like supporters.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, maybe. I feel like.
Do you ever get any not hate, but do you ever get any negative feedback when you start dating someone? Because I remember the One Direction lads, when they started dating someone.
It's do you know what? Actually, amazingly, my family are so lovely, and they've been so welcoming to most people that have come into my life. They're so lovely, and they ask them for pictures, and they're always commenting nice stuff on their Instagrams. But I do get the one or two like unknown accounts that have got a weird name that like just rip into them, and me as well. So I don't really get it. I don't know whether I don't really understand, but there are sometimes where there's hate. I mean, definitely a few years back when I was younger, and I felt like my fan base was a lot younger, they'd be like, "Who is that? Why has he got his arm around her? She's not nice," or stuff like that. Probably worse than that. But I feel like as I've gotten older, everyone's people understood that the weight of people's words on social media. So I feel like it's definitely less now, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it true that you met your girlfriend through Romeo Beckham?
No.
No, that's not true.
No, that's not true.
Yeah.
No. I mean, that would be cool, but no, I didn't. I actually met her on a red carpet. I mean, how pretentious is that? Yeah. I've actually there's actually a picture of me and her stood next to each other, and we hadn't actually met yet. And we were coincidentally, stood next to each other. And my tour manager was stood there and was like looking at her. And he pulled me to the side and he said, listen, bruv. So he went, listen, bruv. There's an 11 out of 10 stood next to you. I was like, really? And I looked over and I was like, yeah. I mean, yeah. And I'll show you the picture. Wait, oh no, my phone's on charge. I'll show you after.
Sweet, yeah.
But
we'll put it up in the.
Yeah, but it's just quite funny that there's this image in time where we'd never met each other yet.
Yeah, that is quite sweet.
And we stood next to each other. It's really cool.
I live for that.
Yeah.
I really, really do. Because, I mean, I feel like these days everything is like social media. And like intros are nice still, but it's like just literally being side by side.
It was pure coincidence. And I was actually performing at it was at the NTAs in 2021. Yeah. And I was performing, so I had to get to the carpet really early so I could do it and then get backstage and warm up. And it was her first carpet. So she got there really early and not realise that sometimes you have to be a little bit like fashionably late. So she got there really eagerly and ready to go. So we were like the first two on there. So that's really sweet. So if I hadn't been performing, or she was not cooler, but as if she'd have done one before, then we would never have met, I don't think.
So taking it back to music,
we
have to talk about your love for K-pop a little bit, I think.
Yes.
So obviously you've had your collab with NCT Dream.
Yeah.
And you caught up with the guys
literally last night.
Or maybe it wasn't last night because this was...
Oh, okay. or recently. Sorry. Yeah, whenever this goes out, like just at some point.
Did you ever see that on Graham Norton where he's like, shut up, this is not happening because they recorded it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you caught up with the guys at their gig. Where was the gig?
The Wembley Arena.
Yeah. So obviously you kept the friendship going then.
Yeah. I mean, I have so much love for different sides of K-pop. One, just how hard working they are. Like it's, it's incredible that the training they go through to be members of their bands is so rigorous and so incredibly hard. It's like going through X Factor, but you have to dance, you have to be able to sing amazing, you have to look great. And they are trained from like really young ages, and they go in there, and it's like a school. It's like going to school to eventually, hopefully, make it into a K-pop band. And if you do, it's incredible. Not everyone does. And I remember seeing loads of stuff online and just seeing how big their fan bases were and how like incredible their visuals were. Like their music videos still, I feel like they have this kind of like idea of like how it used to be in the 90s where like the music videos were such a big thing, and nowadays, depending on how big of an artist you are, sometimes music videos aren't even worth doing anymore because people just want to see a quick 15-second TikTok and then they're like, cool, over it next. Whereas they're so still invested into music videos, and that's so cool because like their visuals and their costumes, their hair, every time they do a song, all the members would dye their hair different colours and have different haircuts.
It's the commitment.
I don't have the balls to do that. My hair would fall out, but these guys just do it, and they're so committed to it. And I watched their show a few days ago or whenever it was, and unbelievable. They do not stop dancing. They it is incredible. And then I did a collaboration with NCT Dream about 2 years ago. Yeah. So
that's what my next question was going to be. The fans, their demand for a follow-up on that is absolutely insane. Even the snaps you posted from the show last night, that's all they're asking for.
I know, and you know, I would love to. I enjoyed it so much. I'll never forget. I went out to Seoul and I met the boys, and they'd just flown in from Tokyo, straight into rehearsals. It was like 10 o'clock at night. I'd just flown in. they're like, cool, we're going to do dance rehearsals now. We've got to learn the routine. And I was like, what? I was like, yeah, we're doing it now. And I was like, they just flown in. I was like, yeah, it's cool. Did 2 hours to like 12 o'clock at night or 1 o'clock. Got up the next day, had lunch, did another few hours of rehearsals. And then the following day, we got up at 4 a.m. to go to hair and makeup. Yeah. And then we did a whole day's worth of shooting, and we finished at 2 o'clock in the morning. We then had to get up no word of like 4 o'clock a.m. to go back into hair and makeup that morning. I remember the lady who was looking after her, she was lovely. She dropped us off to the hotel. She went back to hers, which was like 45 minutes away, and so had a shower, literally had a snack, got back in the car to come and pick us up.
Wow.
Bloody hell.
Like, and at the end of the second day of shooting, I actually threw up. I was like,
yeah, because it's a lot.
Because it was a lot, but it wasn't. It was more. I was jet lagged and I was really tired, and that wasn't them overworking. That was me. Like, no, I want to keep up with the pace of these boys, because like, how can I do something with these boys who are so talented and not work hard and be like, no, guys, I need a break. I was like, no, I'm not doing this. Like, I'm here to do it. I want to live this properly and do it properly. And it came out amazing. Like the music video was insane. Yeah. And I'm actually, what was cool is I'd written the song about 6 months previous, and they took the song. So that was another really nice thing. You know, it wasn't just an outsourced song. It's something that I wrote. Yeah.
And this is not because you write as well.
Yeah,
so like literally in the intro, I was like, you know, multi-hyphenated, but you are like a singer, international singer-songwriter, which is...
I gave it my best go.
Like, amazing.
Thank you.
Like, how is that? What's your process when it comes to writing?
I mean, it's always different. Sometimes you work with some of these incredible songwriters that have done like Katy Perry and Justin Bieber, and you're like, whoa. So you kind of go into these sessions and you're definitely, you sit back a little bit, because I'm not going to tell this person how to, you know, so you definitely collaborate, but sometimes you let someone else lead the session. And there's other times where I come in and I've already got ideas, I've got stuff in my notes, I've got melodies, and I'm like, I've got this, let's do this. And then it goes from there. But I'm definitely a melody person. I can come up with melodies for days. It's sometimes lyrically, sometimes it's I find it harder. But I love doing it. It's my favorite thing.
Who would you love to write for? Who would you love to take one of your songs?
That's such a good question. I feel like, oh God, I mean, someone who's obviously does pop like me. So like, I've been even someone like Justin Bieber, like just because, you know, he does pop music, and I feel like that would be really cool. I'd also love to write for a girl. Like, because it's so different writing for a boy and a girl, I think, because with a boy, I feel like you really have to try and think, oh, what would a boy say? How can we make it sound cool? Whereas like with a girl, I feel like you can just write what you want. You can just be so much more like sassy. You can be like, and I think that's really fun. Whereas just like with the boys, it's always like, oh yeah, but you can't say that because I feel like that's toxic masculinity. It's fine. It's in the studio, because you're like, no, a man wouldn't say that. So sometimes you like, and I try and I did. Well, I just did, and I try and break through it. But sometimes I get it. You know, sometimes it's that fine line. But I would love to write for girls. Definitely, I think that would be really fun.
Do you keep in touch with like the girls from Little Mix at all?
I like keep in touch with them, but if I see them out, it'll be like, oh, how are you? Like, nice to see you. Like, because I mean, I did their first ever arena tour, and I was 15, so
it's huge.
So it's like really, it's like a throwback. And I actually remember doing a CBBC kids show called Friday Download, and I was on the show, and they pranked me, and Jesse pretended to be offended at something I said. I mean, listen, they took this a bit too far.
What age were you at that time?
I was 15, right? I was 15, and I was in a whole set full of people. There was probably like 30 people on set, and even the other co-presenters were in on it. And I remember saying to Jesse, oh, I you know, and they told me to say this, I love the hat you're wearing. Here's you and your boyfriend both wearing the same hat. Like, that's really cool. And she turned around and she said, well, I don't just do everything my boyfriend does. And I was like, oh yeah, no, I really like your hat. And she was like, yeah, but I have my own style. Like, I don't, like, okay. And then I was like, oh, no, I just saying I really like your hat. And I was like that. And then she was like, okay, look, and she got up and she walked away, and the rest of the Little Mix girls went, it's okay, like, don't worry about it. And then they got up and confided with her over there, and then I had a producer in my ear being like, Harvey, don't worry about it, we'll get this through, it's okay. So they were all in on it.
In your ear as well.
I just started welling up. I'd have been like, I'd had a breakdown.
I was this close away from crying, right? And I stood there, and then one of my co-presenters was like, oh, that was quite bad. I was like, you fuckers, that was so evil. I think I was 14, like 15. And like, I was really nervous. I'm interviewing Little Mix, and you did that to me. And they came over, we're only joking. I was like, ha ha ha, so funny. Literally, I remember hugging them thinking like, oh my God, like, don't cry. And I was like, oh, that's so, you guys. Like that's still good. Every now and again, I'll sit on TikTok and it'll gone viral. It'll have like a few million views, and it's so funny because I'm like, that was such a traumatic time of my life.
Yeah, you're just like, it's so funny.
So they owe you now because they're all in the studio, pretty much like writing. So when you're like, I'd love to write for girls. It's like,
That is definitely.
Yeah.
I'd love to be in the studio with them, definitely.
And talking about collabs, is there any other K-pop artists that you'd love to do
Yeah,
something
loads.
with? You have to just pick one.
Pick one. I mean, I could pick. Blackpink.
yeah.
I think they are so
they're the
cool.
moment at the moment.
They are, and I love their music. Again, they're great. They're so cool.
Right. So obviously you're out and about, international.
Yes, international.
International.
Met-
Mr. International.
Yeah.
Met many people.
Yeah.
Who is the rudest celebrity you've met?
Listen, I've met a lot of people, and sometimes you'll find the more famous they are, they're actually the more lovely they are.
Yeah.
The kinder they are.
Yeah.
It's always the ones
That have just reached fame.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
that are like, whoa, like you've got an attitude, like
Yeah.
so. But I'm not gonna say it because I feel like that'll get me in trouble. So can I skip this one?
Yeah, you can skip it.
I'm skipping. What does this mean if I
Okay.
skip?
You have to do a forfeit.
So all our guests get the choice of 3. So you get up to 3 skips. So shuffle, skip, or repeat.
I'll go the closest one to me.
Yep. So if you pick it up, take the card up in the back.
This is very professional.
Show the camera what it
I
says. It's
mean-
very high budget here.
Wow. Okay. Embarrassing
say?
moment.
Oh, okay.
Embarrassing moment.
So you have
Yeah.
to give us one of your most embarrassing moments to date in your career.
Oh God.
So
I mean,
not
there
really an easy one. That is
No,
it?
but
there-
Sorry.
there have been many actually. God, what's the most embarrassing one?
Make it juicy.
Make it juicy. Okay. So I was on a high street somewhere in the north of England. Somewhere I'm sure that was really nice.
We love the north just as much as London, by the way.
Yes. So I was.
But Harvey doesn't clearly.
No, I do. I was on
Fuck the north.
I was on a lovely high street, and I was walking down it, and a group of girls came up to me. I was like, "Oh my God, like you're Harvey," and I was like, "Yeah," and
Aw.
it was really lovely. Started off really lovely, and they were stood there. It was quite a big group of them, and they was like, "Can we have pictures?" No worries. So I was taking selfies, taking pictures, and then kind of one by one, I was hugging them like, oh, "Thank you so much for all the support. Like you're incredible. Like all that wet stuff."
Sweet.
And there was a girl near the end of the line, so I just embraced her, like gave her a hug, and it wasn't even like it's not like a normal hug, like when you meet your fans. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm gonna give him a proper hug. I'm gonna give him a hug to remember. So I'm like hugging them, and I'm like squeezing them and giving them like a little like, oh, just I love you, like one of those ones, and I'm giving this girl this hug, and I kind of embraced her, and then I kind of like lift back, and I was like, thank you so much for like supporting me, like you're incredible. Like,
Is there a
like,
head in your hands
like,
at this
no,
point?
but like I'm not lying. Like I kind of got the back of her head. Like think back, it's a bit weird. And I was like, I love you so much. Thank you for all the support. Like I really appreciate it. And she was like, get the fuck off. And I was like, whoa. Like thinking that it was like banter. She's like, I don't know who you are. Like please don't touch me. Like she was actually quite like taken back by it. This girl wasn't a part of this group of girls, and I thought that she was because she was stood there. And that's why it was so bad.
God, you really gotta love yourself, don't you, to go around hugging people in the street?
And saying,
I love you
exactly, and
so
saying,
much. I love
thank
you
you so much for supporting me. Like I know I'm amazing. Like you're amazing. Like let me give you a hug.
She's just trying to get the bus. Yeah, fuck
I know,
off, mate.
literally that. Like it was literally that. And I'm just so embarrassed, and I'll never forget it. So if you're out there, that person, I forgive you.
See, my question, I personally just wanted to ask if you would have gone on Love Island.
I've had this question before. Like,
Would you?
no, I've actually said in the past, you know what, I feel like I could, it'll be fun. No. Do you know what it is? I get secondhand embarrassment watching.
Yeah.
Like, I can't deal with the kissing, and like, I'm probably cringe, like, when it comes to that stuff. So let alone someone recording me doing it. Like, and I feel like in the back of your head, you know you're being filmed. And I feel like whenever you know you're being filmed, you overthink everything you do. So everything comes out like slightly more awkward. And so
Yeah.
I just don't think I could do it. But I've got I did a show at the O2 Shepherd's Bush Empire,
Yeah.
and Antigone, who went on Love Island, supported, but she was a singer before, And I actually met her in the studios, and she's really, really talented. So yeah, talk about Love Island. But yeah, I wouldn't. I'll be too scared.
But would you perform on there?
Yes.
I love
Do you know
those
what?
montages.
No, do
and
you
we're
know
like-
what? I still get hyped, right? There was one year one of the contestants cried when Craig David came on. I think that's so iconic, right?
You've got to top that moment.
Yeah, one day maybe. I don't think anyone would cry if I walked in there, but like, who the fuck is that?
Just don't go in and hug them all.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in and be like, listen, thank you so much for the support. But no, I always get hyped because I'll be watching Love Island, and I'll hear like a song like in the background. Or they play music in the background. I'm like, that's my song. They're playing my song in the background. It happens every single series, and I'm like, and I love it. Like it's like a quite cool moment to hear my song. But no one else will care who's watching, but I do. And my fans always know it. They're like, they're playing Harvey's song right now. Skip to 2 minutes 08, and you'll hear it for 10 seconds, but it's only the instrumental. But it matters to me.
I love, to be honest, like I actually like love the music that's on Love Island. Like I love all I love all the acoustic. No,
It's
legit.
your music.
No, I know, that's what I'm saying. Do
No,
you?
legit. Like I love all the like acoustic versions that
Yeah,
they
right.
do.
Okay, that is something that kills me every time because like. You know it's a Love Island track when it's like a like Stay. I heard the other day I was watching Love Island and the song Stay. I need you to stay. But it was like the same. Tell me ever would need you to stay. Need you to stay. Yeah.
Do you see if I get a bill for that now? Because you sang that song on this podcast. You're getting the bill for it.
Oh yeah, sorry. Sorry. I mean, most of it was mumbo jumbo, so they're never gonna know.
it.
But like it was like really like sad, like, and I was like. I don't know if this works or if it doesn't. I don't know. Maybe it does. Maybe I'm just really cynical. But yeah.
Speaking of, so you put out a tweet asking your fans. Like, I've literally been scrolling. You put out a tweet asking your fans what kind of music they wanted to hear from you this year, and I feel like that kind of style was in there. What was it like?
Acoustic, like chill, R&B. Yeah. I mean, that's the stuff I love.
Yeah.
Like, I love pop music. I always love pop music, and I'll always make pop music. But I'm really tired of doing dance music.
But I love that one you just did with Topic.
I do like it. I do love doing dance music. I do, and it'll always be something that I love doing. But I actually started just doing pure pop music, and then I kind of transitioned into doing all these features dance music. And now I'm like, yeah, but I really don't want to keep just doing like the club, because I'm just like, I did different stuff before that, and now I'm kind of not stuck in the same. I'm in this lane where it's like. My label and people are like, oh yeah, we really want to hear that next dance song, and I'm like, I really don't want to make that in the studio. Like, I really want to make just cool pop music. So it's that fine line because I get it because I like dance music, but it's hard when I'm at home. I love listening to stuff like that's chill. And then I feel like it's so much more versatile. You can listen to it in the summer. You can listen to it whilst you're doing work. Like
You want more of a Harry Styles kind of vibe.
Literally, only just not even. I love Harry Styles. I love his music. But like, even if it's like a hybrid between like Harry and like Charlie Puthie and that, and just pop music in general. I just love pop music, and I feel like if you hit the nail on the head, I feel like it can be listened to at any point. In the day. Whereas I just 100%. Feel like sometimes dance music is just like, unless you are running at fucking full speed at 17 miles per hour on the treadmill and you want to hear like a I get it.
Yeah.
I get that though, because I feel like because you're a writer as well, and I find like with dance music, because I do dance music and like I love it, like DJing, producing, all of that. It's amazing, it's great, but it's sometimes hard to connect lyrically in the same way.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like it's more about the beat when it comes to dance music, and it's more of just having something repetitive. Whereas like with other style of music, like you said, you can connect with the lyrics, and it's a lot deeper, or it's more emotive.
Yeah.
Rather than just like so it's a bit of both, and it's hard, especially when I don't want to big myself up. I'm not I'm not good at many things in life, but when it comes to singing, like, I'm quite a good singer. It's really hard because I'll be doing songs and they'll be like, yeah, can you do less? And I'm like, yeah, cool. So I end up I've done dance tunes where they're like, can you sing like more shit? Where it just sounds more like yeah. I'm like, yeah, cool, okay. And then I get to the end and I'm like, wow, I'm really just like not doing what I can do. And I do get it. I'm not complaining, but
no, like I feel like it's an honest conversation. I think a lot of like artists now are feeling a lot more open with having the
Yes,
conversation.
yeah.
Like you see someone like Ray, for example.
Don't even get. I mean, I love Ray,
Yeah.
and nothing fills my heart more than seeing her being today's top hits on Spotify and doing well, because I know how she feels. Like I really do, and there are so many artists out there that know how she feels, and a lot of us are in the same boat to a certain extent. Some different than others, but what she did was so brave.
Yeah.
Because without a major label, you think, fuck, like,
It's a gamble.
It is a gamble,
Yeah.
and you just don't know. And she is so talented, and it just proves that if certain people maybe just, it's not even taking a risk with her. Like, she's so talented, and her music's great. There's no risk involved. She is sick. You just have to let her be an artist, and that's what she does. And it's really tiring to see these old men dictate what's cool.
Yeah.
Like don't get me wrong, these people are legends. A lot of these A&Rs and these people, they have been in the industry and they've had millions of singles, and I get that. So you have every right to have an opinion, you have every right to decide what you should put out, and I get that. But things evolve and move on.
Yeah.
Like, hence why people hire young people in, because they get the times. And I feel like you need that balance. Otherwise, you get artists like Ray that goes, you know what? 7 years, you're not letting me put an album. You only let me do that. I love life in the summer. Like, I want to put out stuff that's more meaningful. And they're like, yeah, but it's not commercial. It won't work.
Yeah.
And I love that. And I love seeing that, because I'm like, yes, like, this is sick. Like, and hopefully she then paves the way, and she already is, for people at these record labels to be like, you know what? Maybe we should listen to our artists and not just find the most commercial shit dance song to plaster, and then be like, and force people to be like, no, you do like this dance song. Like, this is really repetitive. You love it. Come on. This is really summary. Like, you're going to love this. Like, because people find their own songs they like now.
Yeah.
It's not how it was back in the day. It's really hard to explain to people. But back in the day, when it was just radio driven,
Yeah.
you got a song and it's on the radio, everyone hears it on the radio, and you can't help but not kind of start to enjoy it, because you get to know the song, because it is shoved down your throat, and you're like, okay, cool. But with streaming now, you make your own playlist, you make your own radio, it caters to you. Like, so it's a lot, in some ways it's harder now, because you get someone who has one listen and they hear it one time and they're like, I don't like that won't get added to a playlist. So there's pros and cons, but that's why it's nice that nowadays it isn't just something that's been rammed down your throat on in the radio. Let's say you make your own choice now on streaming.
But you make a really good point where you talk about radio play, and what we found was a lot of really young people are listening to artists that released music 10, 20 years ago because of streaming, because they can choose and pick and choose their own playlists. Obviously, only the cool people are played on the radio and they're shoving the songs down your throat, etc. But actually, if you take a step back, what people listen to is much more broader.
Yeah.
And what's amazing is actually, again, I think this is a pro and con. Like, with TikTok, that is now the driving force of music. That is just it. Like, whether you like it or not, you sit down in a meeting, you can talk about all the artistic craft and everything you want, and then at the end they go, okay, so what about TikTok? So that's what you're really here for. And I understand it. That is a new way to find music. There is such a big audience that uses that platform, and it's almost, in a way, it's a bit like radio. You flick through a trending song, you're going to constantly hear the same 15 seconds of this song.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God, I like this song. Because you learn it through these different videos. And it's more interesting because you're not listening to it now. You're watching a visual over, like the song. So it's so complex, but it's difficult because you're now when I'm releasing music, I'm fighting with other artists that are releasing on TikTok, and it's really hard to get that algorithm right. But it's also all these old songs that are now coming through, like an old Mariah Carey song, which is amazing.
Oh my God, I'm living for her.
But you see what I'm saying? I didn't know that song.
Yeah.
But now I hear the song and I'm like, this is so good, and that's why TikTok's so great, because you get to hear these old songs that then become famous again. There was the Celine Dion one that became really huge with the big trend. But so now you're not, but that's the hard thing. You're not now just battling these new artists that are releasing music at the same time as you. You're now like battling a back catalogue, because these old songs are going to go viral. So it's like it's a give and take, But yeah.
I feel like I'd rather have the TikTok era
Yeah.
than like the radio pluggers,
Yes,
payola and all of that.
People can now write and create music in their bedroom, and there's so many talented people that would never have been given the opportunity back in the day because maybe they didn't look a certain way or they didn't have the money or that, you know, they just didn't get that luck and that opportunity to show their talent, and they would never get played on radio and you wouldn't get the record deal. So that's it, like dream over. Whereas now, you know, you can be inspired in your bedroom, write a song, produce it on your lap, produce it on your phone, and then release it on a DSP, put it on TikTok, and somehow the next day it's found an algorithm, and now you're at, you know, 2 million views, and you're like, oh my god, like I guess I'm an artist now. And then no, but that's amazing. I think that means everyone can have fun and give it a go. It's become so much more accessible to be an artist, which I love. I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, we hope it keeps going the way it is going for you, and your music keeps absolutely smashing it, because you've been doing absolutely great. So
thank you.
Really great to keep a track of that as well and have you back.
Listen,
once those stadiums are sold out.
I would love to come back and talk more. I feel like
we could talk for hours.
No, I feel like I
this,
talk too much on this,
No.
but I love to come back and give you an update on life.
Yeah, that
please. Like honestly, I want to hear like all the new stuff.
Yes,
I'm
I'd love to play.
excited, and I want to see like you in sessions writing with women, because I feel like a lot of people say things like, do you know what I mean, like buzzwords, and you can tell it's not authentic.
I
but
genuinely,
with you, it's like,
I wrote a song the other day for a girl to be pitched, because I'm like, even if I can't work with someone in the room for a girl, I'm just gonna write and just pitch it out. And it was called The Drama, and it's a dance song, but it's sick. It's actually really cool. Like I can hear like Ava Max or I don't know, someone on there, and it's like, and I'm like, oh, that's sick.
Ava.
Come on, Ava, if you're listening, take it. Come on. Yeah.
We might edit that a little bit out.
Actually, sorry, Ava, don't take it. If you like the song, then maybe you should listen to it, and maybe whatever. All right, bye. See you guys. Oh wait, before I go, real quick one. I love what you're wearing. Is it anime? What? Can you tell me what anime it is? Because that's so nice.
Do you know what, Harvey?
Go on.
It's one I actually made myself.
Oh, it's one that you made yourself.
You can hear you swallowing.
Yeah. You should tell everyone.
What is it, Yuki?
Yeah. Shut the fuck up. Okay.
For the second time in this podcast.
Shut the fuck up.
I think that we should leave it at that.
We should leave it at that.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah, I should. Right. Bye, guys. Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Thank you, Harvey.
Bye.